Hello students, as laboratories are closed, today we'll learn the very modern concept about the chemistry laboratory, that is chemistry virtual lab. Means when the laboratories are closed, you have to study practicals, experiments on the boards by virtual method as like you are present in the lab. That concept called as a chemistry virtual laboratory concept. Today we'll learn the experiment water hardness. So for that, what is the theory behind this experiment? It is one of the parameter of the water which decides the presence of the cations in the water. If water is hard, it is containing calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium type ions in excess, especially magnesium, calcium. Its salts are present in that water. That water may be industrial water, domestic water, or irrigation water. The water contains cations like calcium, magnesium, which are in the excess amounts, generally measured in smaller quantities concentration, ppm, microgram per ml or milligram per liter. That concentrations are excess. Generally, they are present as a calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, or their carbonates, bicarbonates that are present in the water, which gives the hardness to the water. Magnesium, calcium carbonates, chlorides, bicarbonates if present in excess amount, that gives the hardness to the water. So there are two types of the hardness of the water: temporary hardness and second is the permanent hardness. Permanent hardness is due to the calcium and magnesium ions salts present in the excess amount. When water get heated or boiled, this hardness remains as it is. When the chloride like simple salts are present in the water, for example calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, when the water is heated after giving temperature, when the hardness is removed, the salts get broken down. That hardness is called as a temporary hardness. Permanent hardness is due to the strong salts of the calcium magnesium like carbonates that is not removed even after boiling the water. So that is total hardness. The combination of temporary and permanent hardness is called as a total hardness of water. So how that is determined? The hardness of the water is amount of the calcium and magnesium, especially calcium and magnesium present in the water samples responsible for hardness of water can be determined by titration with EDTA. It is a special reagent used in analytical chemistry. It is hexadentate ligand. What is the structure of EDTA? It is ethylene, diamine, two nitrogen groups are there, and a tetraacetic acid is there. Tetraacetate groups are there attached to nitrogen. So that ligand, hexadentate ligand called as EDTA. It has 6 donating atoms, 4 oxygen and 2 nitrogen donating atoms. And it can trap the variety of the metals through the coordinate bonding of the nitrogen atoms. Nitrogen atoms coordinates with the metal and the 4 covalent bonds get formed with the metal. The metal in any oxidation state ranging from 2 plus to 7 plus can be trapped, especially 3D metals, S block metals, alkaline earth metals get trapped by EDTA. So EDTA analyze that metals. Means here for hardness determination, amount of calcium and magnesium can be determined using EDTA. So EDTA is used as a titrant, and your hardness of water sample for hardness is the titrant. So in the laboratory, what you have to take? The dilute solution of the EDTA you have to take 0.01 molar. It is the dilute concentration of EDTA. How it is prepared? The molecular weight 0.01. You have to prepare. You have to dissolve to 1 liter. 0.01 molecular weight of the EDTA can be dissolved to the water. That gives the preparation 1 liter. That gives the preparation of EDTA solution. So disodium salt of EDTA is used as active molecule compound for dissolution in the water, and EDTA solution is prepared. It is filled in the burette. So when it is filled in the burette, you will get the titrant solution. airtight burette with this cork. You have to fill the EDTA in this. How much of the volume is required for determination of hardness? From 25 to 35 ml is sufficient for titration. Then you have to take the water sample in the flask, conical flask, about 25 ml water sample. You have to take hard water sample containing calcium and magnesium ions. You have to take in this flask. Then you have to titrate this solution against water sample EDTA solution. Titration, complex formation takes place. How that is detected? That is detected with the indicator Eriochrome black tea, EBT indicator. At the initial stage it gives the wine red color, and when the titration complete it gives the sky blue color. So for the maintenance of this color, the pH of this solution, water sample solution, to be maintained equal to basic pH, that is pH 10. At pH 10 this complex get formed for calcium and magnesium with EDTA. So pH 10 is maintained with the use of basic buffer. Basic buffer, few volumes are added, performing titration. About 5 to 10 ml buffer added to maintain the pH of this solution. Then the titration performed in presence of Eriochrome black tea indicator. And finally endpoint is sky blue. So when the titration get completes by addition of buffer and indicator, by titration with EDTA, certain volume of the EDTA get consumed by the metal ions, and the calcium EDTA or magnesium EDTA complex get formed, and that is presence detected by the color change of EBT, and we have the relation 0.01 molar EDTA titrated corresponds to 1 mole of calcium 2 plus or magnesium 2 plus, means molecular weight of calcium or magnesium ions in the compounds have to be taken. Which compounds? Chlorides or carbonates or bicarbonates, whatever that present in the solution, that can be analyzed with this relation. Using this relation you can perform the calculations, and you will get the amount of the calcium 2 plus and magnesium 2 plus in the water sample in ppm levels, milligram per liter. Because this volumes, if 25 ml volume is taken, that relates to whatever the titration reading XML obtained. 3 readings you have to take, CBR constant burette reading you have to take, obtained for 0.01 molar EDTA. And from the relation you can determine the amounts in milligram per liter, that is hardness of the water, amount of calcium and magnesium. So this is the virtual lab experiment you can perform in the laboratories, but you can understand here now on the digital board. So what type of the questions are asked on this experiment? The questions will be on the what is hardness of water, what are the types of the hardness of the waters, which ions gives the hardness, calcium and magnesium, which salts are present which are responsible for hardness of water, how hardness is determined, that is determined using 0.0 molar EDTA solution, which pH is maintained, pH 10 is maintained for this titration. What is the type of titration? It is the complexometric titration, because complex get formed in the flask during titration. Which indicator used? EBT indicator used. What is the end point? The wine red to sky blue, that is the end point. Such types of the questions will be asked on this experiment. So these are all the concepts of the virtual laboratory.